Mate, it's round 21. What is this nonsense? Round 21. I don't even know. Supercoach, the season's almost finished. And you know what's next? AFLW Fantasy. Get on it, boys. Oh, mate. Joe's coming up soon. Big J's coming up soon. Everyone's coming up soon. Hope your Thursday, I was going to say Monday. Hope your Thursday has been as fun as mine has. Boy, oh boy. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for jumping on. Should be a ripper of a day. Yeah. More North retirings for all us North Melbourne fans out there. It's been a bit exciting and a bit sad, really. Aaron Hall's gone. Zeebel's gone now. Cunnington's probably going to have a couple of farewell games, and then he's gone too. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me fine. But, yeah, who's your club saying goodbye to at the end of the year? Has anyone else really come out and said, yep, I'm retiring? I know Franklin has, but has anyone else really have outside of him? I don't know. Yeah, Corey, how you doing? How you feeling, Tone? Yeah, Sheasel, mate. I don't know about Sheasel next year. We'll have to see. I think Ashcroft in 2 years, if he gets over his ACL, he's going to be a bit of a shout at, sub 500K. But, yeah, I don't know about Sheasel, man. I think there needs to be a few more injection of talent in that team before we start picking him. Yes, he was fantastic at 200K. We've all made our money off him. God, I know George's Discord goes crazy about me and Wilmot at the moment, but he's been fantastic too. I reckon he's almost been rookie keeper of the year. Outside of Sheasel, of course, popping out 100s, but Wilmot coming out at, 130K? And now the guy's almost 500K? Like, come on now. That's ridiculous for a first-year player. Sheasel, of course, but Wilmot's playing in a much better team too. So there's a lot more people that want to command the ball and get a lot more score than kind of Sheasel getting the best score every week for North Melbourne. Yeah, Hearn's out. Hearn's out. Yeah, even Warple's playing like a premium. Yeah, I think Cunnington might play this week. Maybe he plays next week. But I seriously doubt he's going to play next year. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. Let me know in the chat if you guys are going to play AFLW Fantasy. I know that Joe and I have talked about it on air, and we're definitely going to get into it. More football is always better. And I think in September too, it's kind of nice. I know their season's starting up soon, and the practice games are starting up soon as well. But, yeah, I think in September, kind of more football is always good. So we'll have AFL. Hopefully I didn't disrupt. We'll have AFLW Fantasy for a while. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens. The tough bit with AFLW Fantasy is because it's so different. You've really got to get the good rookies and bring those guys in. But also, normally in Supercoach, we can kind of plan for players to get expensive, right? We can plan for our guys to be there and be like, yep, in 5 or 6 weeks, I'm going to be able to trade to bring you in. AFLW Fantasy, you really just can't do that. You're really looking at, okay, who's the most expensive guys that I can keep? And then bring in kind of, it's almost like insane guns and rookies, if you think about it. Because we saw last year, at least when Mariah's Magic was putting it on, that the midfielders, the good ones, were scoring like double the amount of points of the rookies and double the amount of points of other players too. And as well, because the scoring in AFLW is so low, they might play a game and score 20 points in a game, which is bonkers. Like, how can you score 20 points in a regular game? I mean, the AFL players will do it if you're playing North Melbourne versus Geelong at Geelong. Like, there's been times of that, but very rarely happens. So the midfielders and the rucks, that's where you put all your money. Get maybe the best defender and the best forward, and then just look to upgrade those other positions because, 3 players might score the same as Kira Bowers next year or next season. So, yeah, it's a bit bonkers, I reckon. Tone, I'm not that bored, mate. I love me some footy. I love me some fantasy. So anything that I can come out and make some content. Sorry, guys, that my stuff hasn't been out recently. But yeah, anything we can make some preseason content on, some things like that. Just keep you going for a while, you know? I think as well, kind of the game itself's getting a little bit better. So I'm more than happy to give it a little bit of coverage. Yes, it may fall off like regular football, but September football's like that as well, right? If you don't make finals in your super coach team, whatever, you're missing out on a lot. I think as well, just kind of getting to know the players and getting to know the game. This year as well, last year Joe and I did it, or last preseason Joe and I did AFLW fantasy, and it was all right. But I think one of the biggest issues was there were like more expansion teams. So, hey Jen, how you doing? There was something like 4 expansion teams. So there were premium level players at the price of rookies, which we just won't see anymore. So it's probably the most uncompromised the game's been for a while. It is fantasy. Teams' prices change every week. Players' prices change every week. So it's a lot different in that respect, which I don't think you could do Supercoach in AFLW because the season's just not long enough. Yeah, it is what it is. I got a bit of a trim. Don't know if any of you guys noticed, but pretty happy with that too. Now just got to trim the belly.
You trim that belly, boy. You trim it.
Yeah. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
Yeah, good. I came at a perfect time. Sorry, guys, for being late. I don't have. I need to invest in one of those phone holder things, and then I can be also a Kardashian.
We can do double car stream. Be crazy.
I know, it would be insane. I don't know. I think I've just heard you talk about AFLW fantasy. It was, I don't know, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty fun. It was my only real experience dabbling in fantasy in general. Yeah. So I might actually even try fantasy next year and see, see how that goes.
Nah, that's going a bit too far, Joe. That's going a bit too far, Joe. We can't. We're a super coach channel. We're not no AFL fantasy. A guy gets 800 touches, but they all go out on the full, and he ends up the top scorer for the week. I'm sorry, that's just not. That's not how we roll here.
Maybe, but I like having infinite trades, mate. Being able to
I guess
my
so.
Trades.
I guess so.
Jen got home from basketball training. Oh, very nice, very nice. What position you play, Jen? Point guard, center, shooting guard. I am doing well, thank you. Just got home, running from home. Thursday nights are always pretty stressful for me, trying to run home and get home close to 5:30. But other than that, I'm doing well, thanks, Jen.
You know what I've noticed, Joe, is that I reckon we've started to hit the hump, and now we're getting towards summer. Because I mean, like, we're not there yet, obviously. But it's 5:30 and it's not dark outside. I remember this time like a month ago. Yeah. It was actually dark. Now it's like, it's decently light outside. So, summer's coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, that is you can notice. Did you guys see the super moon last night or something? It was massive.
Yeah.
It was
that was, and it was really close too.
Yeah,
it was super close. As I said, when we're talking about retirements, Joe, while you were on your way, we're talking about retirements with the guys, and just talking about, North Melbourne's had a couple. Zeebel's retired, Aaron Hall's retired, Cunnington's probably on his retirement tour. Have you guys at Essendon had anyone that's retired now?
Nah, we're a fairly young list. I mean, I thought maybe Heppel was going to be one to go because, to be honest, Heppel looked cooked for all intents and purposes at the start of the year. But his back half of the season has been absolutely sensational for us, and I think he's done enough to warrant himself a 1-year contract extension for next year. Really, the only question for someone retiring might be Phillips, but he's still also been very serviceable in the ruck. So I don't think anyone's actually going to retire from our team, which which is
And
pretty interesting.
How about Max Lynch as well? It's bit of a pretty sad circumstance. I don't know if you saw that during the week, Joe.
Yeah, the concussions have forced him into early retirement, poor man. He's 24 years old.
I mean, was it Dylan Robertson? Was it Dylan Robertson from the Saints that was almost in a similar position? And then Paddy McCartan's probably going to be there pretty close too, right?
Yeah, it was. And obviously Paddy McCartan is also in that similar situation, and he might be just about done. So you better hope that nothing similar happens to Aliir, because if so, then poor Adelaide are in strife if that is the case.
Yeah. And I know North fans, and maybe Corey will back me up with this. I know Jai Simpkins had a few concussions recently as well. So I wonder if he's one down the track that they're going to be looking out for and being like, hey, you seem to get all these bumps and, 3 concussion outs or 4 a year. Really got to be careful, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not the biggest player either.
Well, this Dom Sheed is not going to play for the rest of the year, so he's got a hot spot in his foot. So
why couldn't he have a hot spot last week when North Melbourne played him? Huh?
No, he's doing it against us. And West Coast Eagles don't want a lotto ticket on this week's game.
Mate,
that will be an interesting game.
West Coast wins this game, and then I can't wait for all the, oh shit, West Coast aren't going to have pick 1 anymore talk in the media. That stuff will implode, I reckon. If West Coast don't have pick 1 anymore, the media is going to flip their shit.
Bro, if now we're going to talk about, no one cares about pick 1, bro. If West Coast wins, no one cares about. It's all about holy shit. Essendon have fallen off a cliff in the second. I don't think you guys at North Melbourne.
You know what it's going to be. It's going to be holy shit. Ben Mackay pick 2 compensation. No more of this West Coast being able to trade for like 5 new players with their pick 1. Mate, stuff's going to change, Joe. Just watch out.
Man, that's the sad thing about North Melbourne. All you've got to talk about, all you've got to be excited about is pick number 1, pick number 2, and like it's all talking about compensation this and draft and that, and like, come on, man.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry that your pick 5 last year has finally taken this long to actually get a game. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sure he wanted to play before now, but he just wasn't good enough,
It's Sardis time, baby. Let's go. Better late than never, mate. Better late than never. Yeah. He is going to be really good. Oh, mate, Jen, you are a scoring juggernaut by the looks of things. Very impressive.
Scoring juggernaut. I love it.
Sportsnut. Hopefully no big injuries. You've still got a trade, Sportsnut? Bro, that is really good. What are you talking about? I've got none. I've had none for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I think what I have next year is going to be a plan to do a bit of a squeeze. I mean, this year I would have been able to save a couple of trades if I didn't. I don't know if I went early on getting rid of players or what's happened, because Jack Steele gave me like 4 weeks of shit. And Will Day kind of gave me 4 weeks of shit as well. So I feel bad that now they've become good players again. But I don't feel bad about the time that I got rid of them, if that makes sense. So it's a bit of an interesting situation. Kind of where to be in the get rid of players saga. What do you reckon, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if only I knew somehow someone told me that Grundy was going to get dropped, I would have held on to Gordon. I wouldn't have traded out Gordon.
He's got something like a 3-round average of 130, so he's looking pretty sexy. I tell you what.
Look at this Sardis, bro. He spent most of the second half in the forward half, but still gathered 22 touches, 6 clearances, and 5 tackles. Ooh!
Yeah.
He's Elijah, baby.
He looks good, and I think, we've spoken off air about Brad Scott not playing the kids, but this is the one where it actually kind of fits a little bit. Chuck him in, let his body go, because I know for a while he was a bit of an injured player, right? Played a lot of the season out injured.
Yeah, he was injured. Demon's back in solo ruck as Clary edges closer to a return. So
Do you
still,
reckon Grundy's
Ben
gone?
Oliver might be a
Joe?
week away.
Joe, do you reckon Grundy's gone at the end of the year?
I think so.
Because the issue with the Grundy is people say, nah, Melbourne won't trade him, whatever. Grundy's not young. He's not 24 taking over a 31-year-old, 32-year-old.
No.
Grundy is getting old himself. And you do not want to be that 30-year-old player who's stuck in the VFL waiting for an injury. You want to be playing football because you know, hey, I've only got 2 or 3 or 4 years left. I don't want to spend half of that waiting for Max Gawn to retire, which really could happen. Because Max Gawn, he's still looking fit. He's still doing what Max Gawn does and what he's done for the past 8 or so years. So if I'm Grundy, I'm like, get me out of here. And you know Melbourne's going to get better than pick 27 for getting rid of him too.
Yeah, because they liked how the forward line looked, and they've still got some training to get through this week. But at this stage, Grundy won't be playing. But anything's still possible. Anything's still possible. You're basically saying this guy will get a game when Harrison Petty or Jake Melksham does a hammy or something.
Well, I just don't think he's a forward. That's the issue with Grundy, is that Melbourne try and play him as a second ruck forward, right? And that's kind of what Van Ruwen's doing. But Grundy just can't play the position. He can ruck, sure, but he just can't play the other position. So he's really missing out when it comes to that. And then you end up having to pay this guy that you're probably paying $600K to go play VFL. So, yeah, it's a bit of a rough one. Credit to where credit's due, though. Melbourne's depth. Melbourne's depth is good enough that they can have $600K playing in the VFL and not be losing that many games, because there's not many clubs that can really do that, to be fair. I know North Melbourne, if we had to have another 700-800K player hiding in the VFL, that would be a lot missing out on field for us.
Sportsnut asked, where will Grundy end up, though?
Well, have a think about it.
Tones reckons that Grundy would complete the Lions if he was to go over to the Lions.
I think he's too expensive. I know we've spoken on Fancast about it, about Oscar McInerney being just like a perfect ruckman for them, because he does so much and he's big and he can compete and he's cheap. I think the biggest element is the pay dispute and the pay amount for Grundy. You look at a lot of teams and, like Port Adelaide's probably a good fix. West Coast would be a decent fix for him. But I just think that Brisbane are going to have too many superstars that they're going to have to pay big bucks to. That would they rather keep Omac and then have like Dev Robertson stay on the team, or get Grundy and then have to lose a couple of young stars to fork out the money? I just don't see him doing it.
I don't know. I think ultimately the money, you're using the money to build a team that can win a premiership. Ultimately. Yeah,
but you look at the Pies. The Pies are not paying their ruckman much, and now they're playing finals. So same with Brisbane.
But not just their ruckman. They are. I would imagine that they have cut up their money, and they're spending a lot of money on a lot of their players. Like they are close to maxed out, the Pies. I can't see Collingwood successfully being to add in another superstar into their list.
Maybe.
I think that's
a few players on.
They've managed to cut up Grundy and get McStay out of him, and Bobby Hill, and obviously Tom Mitchell. But I can't see them being able to add another superstar, and not especially when they've gone and they've re-signed, exactly as Jen says here, 6 more years for the Dacos brothers, who are both going to be on very decent money. So I think they're doing a bit of a GWS though, and underpaying a few of their other players. Because I know there's talks that Billy Frampton's not on much money. There's probably Ash Johnson and a few of these other guys who are like, hey, you can compete for best 22 every week, but we can't afford to pay you much. So they kind of take the better of the two evils there, and then do that. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. They're too busy paying off other players to play against them. Treloar and Grundy.
Yeah. That's all right.
Liam Jones had to come back, and Ed Richards are also both set to come back.
Well, they need it because Bruce is injured, so they definitely need it.
Well, they've come in at the right time, but if you've got what's his face, Bailey Dale, well, you got to watch out because there's more cooks and there's more chefs in the kitchen back there.
Yep. 100%. I agree with you there, and it's going to be interesting too because I don't know if it's the wrong thing to say, and you can agree or disagree with me here, Joe, but the Dogs are kind of run by what their backline looks like. Is that a fair statement to say? Like, what Bailey Dale does, where Caleb Daniel plays, where a few of these other guys play, really tends to dictate kind of the structure of the team, and then kind of where the other players play and how effective they do that as well. Because a bit of a flow-on effect. A lot of teams have forwards, right, or too many forwards, and you have to play them in other spots. I reckon North Melbourne's one of those sides that's got too many midfielders, and they have to play them everywhere else. Really feels like the Dogs are, hey, we've got too many AFL-capable defenders that we have to start playing them in other positions to kind of get everyone on field.
I don't know if I agree or disagree with that. I know obviously the heart of the Bulldogs is the midfield.
Yeah,
because they've got a lot of
is it though with Dunkley and Hunter gone? Is it though? I think like maybe last year, but you cut out those two players and their midfields. I mean, outside of the Bont and maybe McRae, I don't really rate anyone else.
Liberatore, you don't rate
Libba. Okay, I forgot Libba. But who else after Libba?
Bro, that trio in and of itself is great. Adam Treloar is
it looked a lot better. Treloar. It looked a lot better when they had Dunkley and Hunter in there as well, though.
Well, obviously, but Hunter wasn't inside mid. Hunter was playing on a wing, and
he's playing on a wing again.
And what's his face? Dunkley would, he would have rotations in there and then pinch hit forward. But honestly, like their midfield is still really good, and they still win a lot of contested ball and get a lot of clearances their way. Barras would be very solid for the Doggies back line. Absolutely. 100% agree. I'd love him at our club as well.
I think he'd be good at half a dozen clubs at the moment. Yeah. And then Barras is apparently not going anywhere. So that's another almost nail in the coffin for West Coast rebuild. It's an interesting one because similar to a North Melbourne, I almost pick up West Coast as, yes, we need to start bringing in more players, but we don't have that much draft capital, and we don't have that many players that are actually worth a lot of capital to go to other clubs, right? Their fringe players aren't great because they're basically rejects from other clubs like a Jermaine Jones, SPS, all that kind of stuff. And they really want to keep the young kids. So for a Barras who's actually worth some money, worth a draft pick, to keep him's almost like, well, there goes another one. I mean, if they win another game, mate, they're in real trouble this year because their draft hand just like half of it goes away if they don't get pick one. And that's if they want to trade pick one. Like if they don't, and Barras stays, mate, they're in a spot of bother.
I don't know about that. Ben, as a D supporter, got a feeling Harms, the Bombers, Tomlinson, Tarouz, and James Jordan. I want Jordan. I don't want Harms. I want James Jordan. I reckon this guy is much too good playing for the Melbourne Footy Club as like a little role player. I don't know.
I've heard, I think James Jordan is the one to go. Maybe he stays, maybe he doesn't, but someone's going to offer him a decent contract because whenever he plays, he just does well. I think Tomlinson may stay, even though at the Roos he'll do okay. I think he's too slow. But I know that there's talks that North's into Jake Melksham, so maybe you can give us a bit of light on that and see how he goes because he's at Melbourne, right? I know he's a bit of a fringe player. He's not played all the time.
Nah, they're playing him now. Jakey Melksham has been in a great run of form.
From what I'm hearing, like they may only offer him a 1 or 2 year contract, and we'll be able to offer him a little bit more. So they may come across. No, But he'll do a
31.
job. At North, he might do a job. So, yeah.
He's like a defensive forward that he just gives you pure effort. He's not the most talented, not the most skillful, but he'll do his best to bring the ball to ground, and he's pretty good at ground level.
We just need to run out games, basically. That's kind of the big thing for North Melbourne is we just need players now who we can inject into a few different spots just to run out games, really.
Mate, Jonas, North will take anyone at this point in time. North will take anyone.
No, that's not true. We're not Gold Coast or West Coast. We won't take anyone. Clarko won't do that, man. We're not about to cull like 15 players to then bring in duds. If he's good, if he fits, then we'll take him. But it's not going to be a, hey, you've just got delisted from a club, come to ours.
Bro,
it won't be the West Coast.
Where is Clarko, bro? Where is Clarko?
He's back this week. Right. He's coaching this week. Yeah. Ratton's last game was last week. We spoke about this.
Very
good. He said, I'm done. That's it. See you later.
See you later.
Clarko's back, mate. Clarko's back, Joe. He's coaching his 400th game.
All right. Clarko's back. All right. Our Lord and Saviour is back.
He's coaching his 400th game this week, Joe. 400 games.
Wow, shame it's going to be a loss, but oh well, it is what it is.
That's all right. Life happens, yeah? Yeah. Life happens. It's all right. Life happens.
Jonas, James Harmless is one of the most useless footballers in the comp. James Jordan is a depth-only player wasted at the Demons. Well, would you look at that? I agree with you there. That's exactly what I said before, Jonas. Nice. West Coast Eagles, we only have a handful in his age bracket, 4 years on contract. He ain't going. About Barras. Fair enough.
It depends. It really depends because you can say that, right? Currently, he's uncontracted. I'm pretty sure that's the guy we're talking about. Currently, he's uncontracted. And is it Barras? Which one's the free agent? Is it Barras?
No, Barras isn't the free agent.
Which of the West Coast defenders is a free agent?
What do you mean? How many West Coast defenders are there?
A lot. There's one of them that's up for free agency this year, and he's like 27. I'm pretty sure it's Barras.
Wait, where's the contract status? Unrestricted free agent at the end of 2026. So Tom Barras is still
which is the person who I'm thinking of? Someone in chat will let me know.
I've got no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, me either then.
Is it McGovern?
No. They've got one. It's Barras. There you go, Tone saying. It's Barras.
So you're thinking about Barras, but Footy Wire has him still until the end of 2026.
Yeah, maybe. All I know is that teams on the bottom of the ladder, when a guy's in that prime, he's only got like 5 or 6 years left to go, then they very rarely stick around for a team that probably won't be playing finals for the rest of their career. It's pretty tough.
So, West Coast Eagles rule, is this wrong? Is Footy Wire wrong? Is this information here wrong? Information?
Because I know Sydney's into. I think they were talking about Sydney's into Barras like free agency. So I don't know.
They've got all these players at Adelaide out of contract, and Brisbane out of contract. No, Tone is wrong. Okay, yeah, I was about to say this. Which one at West Coast is out of contract?
There's a West Coast defender.
All right, let's have a look and see then. See, Jonas says here, end of 2021, Barras signed a 5-year deal. So it's not Barras. I'll tell you who at West Coast is out of contract. West Coast.
Sorry,
Alex Witherden.
No. Oh, yeah, Connor he might West. Go to North Melbourne. No Connor
Jack
West.
Petrocelli. Any of these defenders? Luke Shuey's unrestricted free agent. Shannon Hearn, unrestricted free agent.
You know what? I would offer him 2 years to come to North Melbourne. Just to be like command the back line for a couple of years. I'd do that.
Oh, you bring Shannon Hearn out of retirement?
Yeah, man. Do a Nathan Grimer and bring him out of retirement. Done.
Interesting. Globes, how's it going, man? Thanks for coming on. SPS, but he's on a defender. O'Neill's on a defender. Marriage, obviously not.
I swear they had someone.
Jermaine Jones, Jamie Cripps.
Nah.
Jake Waterman, Jai Cully. Wasn't this guy like the number 1 mid-season draft pick?
Yeah, he was. But I don't think they've recontracted him yet. I know he's done. Did he do his knee or something? And then they're still trying to work out like what's happening with him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
People should reach out to Jai Cully then. They looked really good.
Yeah, he did. But I think once you do ACLs, it's a bit of a hit and miss. Like, what are you going to do? Offer him like a 5-year contract or something? Like, yeah, you really kind of stay at the club that you're at because they're only paying you on potential, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, there's no other West Coast defenders that seem to be relevant.
I'm thinking of Barras, but maybe someone else. Oh, that's all right. Forget about me, Stream. Don't worry about it.
Harry Himmelberg recommits to the Giants. That is a massive win.
It's good. It only boosts up Radagalia's stocks, boosts up Ben Mackay's stocks, boosts up a few of these other key defenders that are looking for new homes. Because once the market starts to go smaller, that's it, Joe.
Yeah, that's right. You got Nick Dacos is confirmed. Gonna cop a tag by Finn McGuinness. It's official.
Now, well, it's got to happen sometime.
Ooh, Tom Green and Jesse Hogan set to return for the Sydney Derby.
Nice. I might
Tommy
actually
Green
have a super coach. Love it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
That guy's a bit of a freak. For a guy that's come out and done his hamstring, I think majority of North Melbourne players would just be like, oh, I'll take those 3 weeks off. They told me to rest. Not Tom Green. He's sitting there doing bicep curls for the media photos. I'll tell you what. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
I know, right? Ralphie, does that mean Himmelberg plays forward this week?
Probably. That's it. He's locked in. Let's make him small forward. Let's go.
I know, right?
Fucked in, mate.
We should trade out Parrish and get an elite forward. I don't agree with that, Globes. I don't agree with that.
The problem is who's available, really. Like Parrish, maybe you get a draft pick, but like Curno's not worth Parrish. I mean, Parrish is not worth Curno. Like, who are you going to get? You're not going to get Nick Larson.
We'll trade him for Oscar Allen. Come on,
I think he's too involved at West Coast. Like, I know in the media every 5 minutes they're talking about, oh, who'd you get? Oh, Oscar Allen. Like, I think they're too involved. There is money for Oscar Allen. Don't get me wrong. There'll be clubs begging him to come across, but I think he's too involved in their club. Truly. I think he's too involved. He would have left if he was going to leave. He should have left 2 years ago when Darling and Kennedy were still there, when he was number 3 and he couldn't get a game. That's the time when he would have left. He's not going to leave now after he's proven himself and become like their number 1 key forward. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I was half joking. I do agree with. I reckon.
No. I know, but I'm just saying, like, just in general, like, it's like 2 meter Peter, right? Oh, let's go after 2 meter Peter now, and it's like, no, he's a number 1 key forward at another club. Like, it's too late,
Yeah, I know.
And he was cheap. 2 meter Peter was the cheapest player around.
They paid part of his contract for us.
Exactly. And you got him for like a 4th rounder. He was the epitome. He was the epitome of, oh, we just got him because he's tall, so you can have him. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Globe, I reckon these youngsters that we've got coming up, the Tex Wanganeen looks really good in the VFL. I'm excited for him to come in and play for us. Obviously, there's Alwyn Davey Jr., but he's more higher up the ground. Jaden
You
Davey.
you guys do need another forward because I'm hearing Harry Jones might get delisted. So if he goes and then like Cox or Reed or someone goes, you're desperate for another key forward. I don't know what's happened to your guys that you picked up from the VFL a couple of years, Joe, a couple of years ago, but why haven't any of those key forwards come on?
Who we picked up in the VFL 2 years
I
ago?
thought you had like Baldwin and a few other guys, like key forward.
Kane Baldwin. He's playing in the back
Is
line.
I swear some of these guys were taken as forwards, though.
Kane Baldwin was a forward, but we've been playing him behind the ball as a defender. He looks really good there. Really happy with him.
What's happened to Montgomery, Joe? This guy was supposed to be. Yeah, but why are you going after Mackay if you've got Montgomery hanging out?
Because he's still development. He's still a development player, mate. He's not going to be able, and he's not a key defender to be able to take on the big monsters of the league, mate. So
he's only like 200 centimeters.
Yeah, but he's not thick, bro. Come on, you got to be. It's more than just height. You got to be thick as well.
Ben Mackay is super thick. Ben Mackay is a thick. He's a thick boy. When you look at thick boy memes, that's Ben Mackay.
Should go for Liam Ryan, apparently, says Ben. Yeah, I'm not against Fly and Ryan coming to the Bombers. That would be very nice. I like that.
I think after Tip and Woody kind of hasn't happened. He hasn't really come back to his best. I think Ryan would definitely be one. And I think he'd come over fairly cheap as well. So you've got Ryan there. Like Mosquito didn't happen either. So kind of having that electrifying small forward or medium forward that can take marks, I think would be great for you.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I love Flying Ryan. He's dynamic at ground level. He's another Indigenous boy. He can also add as another leader for our young Indigenous boys. We have quite a few of them. Anthony Mankara. Yeah. Remember the name. Anthony Mankara. He is pure entertainment, class, X factor, skill. Anthony Mankara is going to be the next Cyril Rioli. But with height. So be careful, bro. Be careful for Anthony Mankara. Once he gets that tank up a bit more, he is tearing the competition apart, boys. Oh, boy. Anthony Mankara. Remember the name. When do the sales for tickets go on? Is it not already? Are they not out already? So, for example, if you can just buy tickets. Should be right there, Jen. And then you can go in. So I'm not sure. Well, for round 24, whoopsies. That's a good question. Well, they have to get the fixture right. They have to get the fixture sorted out first, Jen. Very hard to be able to purchase tickets when you don't know where the games are going to be held at. So you've got to wait for the fixture. Heard Hawks, yeah, they are. They've been looking into it. But West Coast Eagles rule, family all here. He's not going anywhere. Give it up. Mate, we have high respect for your players, West Coast Eagles rule. We want your players to shine in a place where they're closer to a flag. Theo, had a job interview at MCG. Is it easy using a register? I've never actually had a job at a register, Theo. So all of my jobs, I've been a private tutor, which doesn't use it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it should be okay because most teenagers get their first job at a register. So good luck with that, Theo. Fixture might be out next week, apparently. The game's this week. Yeah, because I know I did hear, I think it was was it Morris or someone like that was talking about because we lost to Sydney last week, they're likely to have us against Collingwood be on a Friday night. So, yes, I can understand that they are definitely waiting for these games to see what the repercussions are because they want to schedule the best, most impactful games for primetime TV. Even someone like Bolton, who can be an impact force in the midfield and forward. So yeah, you want another It's like Shy Bolton. I can't see Shy Bolton leaving, unfortunately, Globes. But I think we're trying to develop Archie Perkins into that midfield midfielder that can push forward with explosiveness and impact the scoreboard. I think that's what we're trying to develop Perkins into. So, look, we've got to remember that Brad Scott is taking a long-term view of the side, looking to develop things slowly. Heck, even Baldwin playing in the VFL, Reid in the VFL, Cox had a lot of VFL time, Sardis now a lot in the VFL. So just trying to develop these players slowly. I think we have a lot of great pieces. Just don't have anyone that can fill in the key defender role. I think our midfield has been pretty decent. Another preseason into Hobbs, another preseason into Caldwell, another preseason into Perkins, and that midfield starts to look really dangerous, Globes. Register as easy as work at Woolies and the front end. There you go. There you go, Theo. You've been reassured by Causa. They've both already got a premiership. I know. They've both already got a premiership, but why not another one? Why not another one, West Coast Eagles rule? Why just leave it just at the one and come to the best city in the country? Scoop, round 24. Eagles versus Crows, 2:40 Sunday afternoon. Prime time television, baby. Nah, look, it depends how the Eagles, how the Crows do, West Coast Eagles rule. If all of a sudden Adelaide start pumping out some wins and they're really close to finals, because they're still not far away. They're only a game out. So it really depends on how the Crows, if the Crows beat Brisbane this week, oh boy, then their season is still well and truly alive. And you never know, you might get primetime TV simply by virtue of playing against. Oh, he's got a background now. What's going on?
What's up? I don't know. Just trying out new stuff. We'll see how it works out.
It looks weird, man. I don't like it.
All right, Joe. We'll figure it out.
I personally don't like it. What is something, bro? It's not worse than me showing my bed behind me. Come on.
All right. Calm down. I got to figure out the lighting in my room. It's really dark for some reason, even though like the light's on. So yeah, I don't know why. Not sure.
Imagine working at a place where your club is sponsored with. That would be sick. That would be really cool, Jen. Imagine working for like Emirates, for example, as a Collingwood supporter. That's a pretty cool job, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
What's my prediction? Harry, how's it going, man? What's my prediction for English this week, mate? English against Richmond at Marvel Stadium. I reckon he's going to go 137 points. Thoughts on that prediction, Big J?
Yeah, probably. I was going to say maybe a little bit more. I don't know if that's enough, to be honest, but yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I don't think anyone's going to stop him. It's more about how much work he can do around the ground.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Nankervis has been freshened up after that suspension. He was back this week. Globes already
fresh enough to get another suspension.
Yeah. Man, I hear you, Global. I hear you, man. I don't know. I'm sort of looking forward to having a break from Supercoach for a little bit between this year and the start of next year. It's been I've found it to be a longer year than usual. Not only have they added an extra round, but it's my first year doing content creation, and it's certainly been something that's caused me to think a lot more about Supercoach during the year. So it's not quite burnout per se, but having a little break, just to enjoy something, might be good. But I don't know. I've been really happy with our year thus far, to be honest. First year in content creation, I thought we've done a great job.
Yeah, our first real year for me too. Yes, I've made stuff in the past, but it's not been the same. So,
how much Essendon winning by this week? I reckon with Elijah Sardis coming in, there's going to be a lot of excitement around him. His first season, first game. No Dom Sheed. We're playing at home. I reckon we win by 73 points.
Maybe.
I don't know why I've got 7 and 3 in my mind. I didn't I say that English would score 137? And now I'm saying we're going to win by 73. I don't know why I've got the numbers 7 and 3 in my mind. It's
I don't know, Joe.
funny. Someone's been implanting something in me. See, my don't work a sponsor. He just buys a couple. Okay. Jen just got a job at KFC. Congratulations, Jen.
Nice work,
well
Jen.
done. You smash it. Which KFC?
Nice.
If it's
Good
nearby,
job, Jen.
I'd be happy to go and buy some KFC from you.
Yeah.
Global Big Macs and Grundy is our locks if Grundy gets traded.
Nah, I don't know. I'd rather go Max than English, to be honest.
I'd rather go Briggs and English.
Nah. Briggs.
Congratulations, Jenny. Okay, yes, congratulations. If Grundy goes to Port Adelaide, he will be a good pick, says Harry. Yeah, I agree. I reckon it's pretty good. It all comes down to price as well for me. Is there going to be value? And Grundy, at his price, I think will be value. So he'll be clear number one.
That's what it kind of depends on as well. But if English is going to come out and do 130s, I really don't know how I'm going to be able to
Yeah, but English dropped in price, mate. English wasn't forever super expensive. You know what I mean? Like he had a.
It was only like he only went down to 580. It wasn't like it was 400k.
Yeah, it's fine. Alrighty,
Yeah,
it's 6:20. It's 6:20. Are the teams out?
No.
All right. So we've got tomorrow night's game. Doggies hosting Richmond at Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh wait, someone said my name.
As you say, Big Liam Jones is in. James O'Donnell, the what was he? Was he a cricket player? Pretty sure he was a cricket player, right? He's done all right for himself.
He was, yes.
Yeah. Ed Richards as well, and then Jacob Bauer's back, which is cool. Jaden Short's in. Cumberland's in. Ken Curvis is in. The outs: Keith injured, Bruce injured, Ryan Garner injured, Luke Cleary omitted. Guess the Dogs kind of made it easy for themselves, didn't they? Just having all these injuries, they didn't really have to.
Yes, they did.
Didn't have to do much of a list selection. You know, it's just you're injured, cool, you're out. Yeah, Short, Ben Miller's out. Dustin Martin's out. Joe, wonder what that's.
Yeah,
about.
I know.
Maybe he told him he's going to hang out with Dusty's going to go hang out with Hardwick in Gold Coast. He's told them. So, yep. See you later, mate.
Bro, that is unbelievable. This is a must-win game for Richmond. Yeah. Like, this is almost an elimination final for him. And here they are managing Martin and Cochin.
Yep.
That is unreal.
Uh-huh.
They deserve to lose this. Come on, doggies. Beat them. At Marvel, there's no soul at Marvel. There's no Richmond people at Marvel. Kill them, doggies.
Poor Marvel. Shit.
That's what Dimmer Hardwick said, right?
When he was but it's still a bit harsh.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Jaden Short, though, congratulations on the 150th game. Well done, mate. Mm-hmm. Great career. So, not bad. Tip for this one. Who's your tip? Doggies?
I think I tipped Dogs, yeah.
Nice. Alrighty. Doggies by how much?
27.
Yeah, that's not a bad number. Not bad for a pair of amateurs. We are not bad for a pair of amateurs, I must say. I like that. Sports Nut Don's by around 80.
If I could get my camera set up working, we'd be bloody happy. I'll tell you what.
That is classic amateur stuff. Ralphie, I have a Powerball ticket tonight. I do actually. It's a lot of money, $100 million. So I have managed to get my hands on a ticket there. Fingers crossed.
Joe, if you win, get me some new camera lighting, yeah? Done.
This guy. It's near Kilo on the call. Nah, nowhere near me. Sorry, Jen. I can't give you any money. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Next game. My
You can
boys.
just do it via Teams, right? If you go up the top and press Teams.
Yeah, I know, but it's when I do that, it's not in order. Whereas this one, I know that what the order is. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's have a look. Elijah Sardis is in. Let's go. Alwyn Davey Jr. dropped. He came in for one game, was subbed out, and dropped automatically. That's tough luck. And Will Snelling was the sub who got subbed in, so he's also out. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, Hearn managed, Bazzo managed, Sheed injured. Jeremy McGovern comes in, as does Josh Rotham. Congratulations to both Redmond and Witherden for both racking up 100 games of experience.
Were you saying before that Witherden is maybe it's Liam Duggan, the one that I'm thinking about that's out of contract?
Alex Witherden is out of contract.
Okay. Do you think he's gone at the end of the year? I know that Hearn's retired, but do you think someone will try and poach him?
Maybe. I don't know enough about him to warrant to see whether someone's going to steal him or not. Yes, it is, Ralphie. If it's Powerball 37, then we're winning. But yes, so we're winning by around 80 odd points. Yes, you agree?
Nah, not that much.
VC on Zach Merritt. Let's go. VC Zach Merritt. Love it. Alrighty. That's that game. We then move to the next game, which is Adelaide hosting the Suns at Adelaide Oval. Touk Miller has been suspended for the groping. Stuff you, Zorko. Stuff you. You deserve that. No, I'm just joking. Nah, Touk Miller. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but that's just dumb. That is just really dumb. Oh no, Sportsnut got Touk. I'm sorry, Sportsnut. That's
it's a bit of a weird person to pick, considering he was out for like 8 weeks and then didn't do much. So hopefully he didn't keep him.
He's got Touk. Sportsnut. He's got Zorko's nut too now, because he had Touk Miller. So I know that's unbelievable. Touk Miller, shame. That was very bad. That was a low blow. That was a below the belt sort of move. So he's out. Not sure who comes in. Probably the sub gets elevated. I don't know who the sub was for the Suns last week, but they probably just got elevated. James Borlase is new for the Crows, and Josh Rochelle is back in. Very impressive. He's a very excited player. So Jordan Budds is injured. Pedler's been managed, and Rory Sloan was the sub. So
I'm looking to get 9 this week in the tips. Last week I got 3. I tipped against North Melbourne, and that actually worked out for me. But yeah, looking to get like 9 this week. Excuse me, 9.
Who wins this game then? Huh? What's your tip for this game?
I have tipped Adelaide, because Adelaide at home are pretty tough to beat.
They are.
And no Touk Miller.
Jonas, Big J wants a 32-year-old Melksham so he can beat up the rest of the soft gangs by himself.
Yeah, so he doesn't bash our players, he'll bash someone else. That's how it works.
No, because he's the one who got into the fight with Stephen May.
Oh, that's all right.
That's the joke, mate.
Go bash
someone. Whoosh, mate. Jen took there goes my 2,500. It's all right, Jen. It's okay. You'll be fine. Just put the captaincy on one of the because that was the problem, right? With one of the Adelaide midfielders, that they might be matched up on Touk Miller. So now that Touk Miller's out, that could be really good for Dawson. So now the Jordan Dawson selection becomes live as a captaincy option.
I don't know if
just as Causa says that. He says that for Laird. So
I really don't know if you can. I think it's going to be a bit of a tough one. Yeah, I really don't think you can.
Fair enough. So we then move to the Hawkers playing against Collingwood, who we know is going to be without Frost. Now they have some other changes. Bobby Hill is
big loss there, Joe. Big loss there.
Oh, yeah. Frost, mate, he's very important, I reckon. Brockman's been managed. Meek's been dropped. Ned Reeves comes in, so replaces Meek. Kisitsky into the forward line. Scrimshaw and Harry Morrison. Cam McKenzie, poor kid's been dropped. He's a really good player normally. And in for the Pies, Markov's been dropped. Cox has been dropped. He's gone very limp. It's all about D-Cam. D-Cam is just going to ball out, and I traded him out.
Score another 130 like he's done the last 2 weeks in a row. Thanks, mates.
I am crying because I traded him out 3 weeks ago when I thought his back injury was serious. Ash Johnson comes back in to play forward, which means it's going to be D-Cam rucking all day by himself, and Bobby Hill is the small forward. So D-Cam is a well and truly. D-Cam is going to get a massive score this week.
What's your projected this week? We'll find out after. But
it's going to be shit. Don't worry.
Spicy.
Because I don't have D-Cam, mate. I don't have D-Cam.
He's only projected a 120. It's not that much.
I don't know what D-Cam is. He only? He'll beat that. He'll beat that with ease.
We'll see. Who's your pick for this game?
It's definitely Collingwood. Without doubt.
That's who I've got as well.
Collingwood by 48.
No, I think that's too much.
You heard me. All right, we get to the Geelong Cats hosting Port Adelaide in Geelong. They need to win big time, the Cats. That was a shocking loss last week against Freo. Asava comes in. Tommy Hawkins and Blixarves were both casualties from that loss last week, just to add insult to injury. Mm-hmm. So Asava comes in. Tom Jonas is in. Willie Rioli is in. Alir and Lockie Jones both enter into concussion protocols. Naughty Port Adelaide. Yeah, you were going to say something?
You know, like Asava's got to go and have a really good game this week. So Port Adelaide end up spending like 2 first-rounders on him in the trade table. And then that's how it works, right? You play the players
the audition
team you want them to go to. So
100%. Yeah, this is the audition. He's auditioning for him right now.
It works for everyone versus North Melbourne. You got 30 touches. Yep, you're in. See you later, man.
Yeah, so what's your tip for this one? It's going to be Geelong, yeah?
Port.
Really?
I've picked Port this week, yeah.
With
I don't know if
West
Coast have been rattled against Freo, but yeah, I think I've tipped Port. It's going to be an interesting game. No Hawkins, no Blitzarves, so they're a little bit like shorter than what we're used to. But I think Port's got a better team at the moment. Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm still going
to
go
go
with
battle's
Geelong.
Going to be interesting. Tell you what.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with Geelong. I think Stanley versus Vicentini.
Yeah.
So no, I'm going to go Geelong for this one. They need to bounce back in a strong way. We then get to Battle of the Bridge. Both teams coming off close wins last week. The Giants pipping the Bulldogs and the Swans just surviving a massive comeback by the Bombers. We were down by 37 points and then lost by 2. So they managed to avoid death. They've also lost Buddy Franklin, who is gone for the rest of his career. He's injured and retired. A massive congratulations on a super career for Buddy Franklin, one of the greatest of all time. Rampy's injured. He's a big out. Justin McInerney also injured. Another big out. Hickey comes in as the big man, and Franger, Aaron Francis, will also come in to replace Rampy in the back line. Tom Green, as we mentioned, and Jesse Hogan in that tweet before, both these guys are in. Jesse Hogan subs in straight for Aaron Cadman, who's been dropped, and Tom Green will play in the midfield, replacing Angwin. And coming was the sub. Congratulations to Nick Haynes for 200 games. So that is very interesting, very nice for all of us Supercoach owners with Tom Green, you superstar.
Finally kept him. And then, he's in. So pretty happy about that.
What are your reckon? What are your thoughts on this game?
Who did I tip? I'm pretty sure I tipped GWS.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I was going to tip Sydney, but I'm like, GWS is just on a tear. Like, they're just like, I want to keep this top spot. I don't want Sydney to be getting in. So GWS have won at least 5 games in a row. It's pretty crazy.
7.
Yeah. They're like where Carlton was 5 weeks ago, just on the bottom half, and now they're straight up the top. So, yeah, it's interesting.
Plus, they're stronger with Green and Hogan in. Meanwhile,
much.
Sydney are weaker without Franklin, without McInerney, without Rampy. I'm all in on the Giants here. All in. Chips in.
The favourites betting wise as well. So,
well, that makes sense. Yeah, $1.64 to $2.27. I thought that's actually still pretty good odds for the Giants. If you're gonna gamble responsibly. All right, Giants is our tip. We then get to Sunday's games. Your boys over at Bloodstone Arena, Tasmania, hosting the Melbourne.
You know, it's the game. It's going to be the game that North Melbourne win, but I don't think we will. So yeah, it doesn't matter too much. There's not much.
Tell him I'm the green out of gas. Watch him score 130 this week, Jonas. Just for you.
He will. Just to spite you. He will just to spite you.
I love it.
Aiden Cores in the back line, you know we're going to lose, so that's fine. Ben Cunnington potentially in, Lazaro potentially in. Nice to see Tom Powell as well. I think he might be. Is he named on field? No.
No.
So he's another potentially in. But good to have these kind of players roaming around. I don't think Kane Turner gets selected. He better not anyway. Like, this guy did nothing for us. So see you later, mate. It's been fun having you for like half a game. Lazaro probably. Let's pick out our bench players today, Joe. So Goldstein, you'd have to say. Zeeble probably ends up being the sub again. Lazaro, Young, Goldstein. Who's number 4? Maybe Cunnington, maybe?
Robert Hanson Jr.?
Yeah, potentially.
Who does Clarko like the most out of these guys?
Well, it's more just that we're going to give Ben Cunnington like a run home because you know he's going to leave at the end of the year. So,
fair enough. Tajwa Warden's been dropped for Melbourne. Obviously, this Spud's not playing. Hibbard won't play, probably. Sparrow. I thought Sparrow played last week. Oh, well, I guess not. But yeah, doesn't really matter what happens on this side of the ledger. Melbourne by how much, Big J?
36.
Fair. Alrighty. We then move to a blockbuster game on Sunday at 3:20. The Sainers hosting the Blues at Marvel Stadium. Zach Jones is injured, Chera's injured, and McGovern's injured. So we've got some really important players for both teams getting injured. But you look at who's coming in for the Sainers. Membry.
And you know Zach Jones on a big contract, right?
Hill.
Joe? Zach Jones is on that big contract. So, you know, he's very important for that team. You understood what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain. Sub to Fancast, guys. We're going to put the link in the stream. Joe's going to do that. Sub to Fancast. We need some more subs.
Okay.
Let's go. We just go here and we just type in Fancast AFL. Done. There you go. That's us. Subscribe to the channel. Look at Joe's face. Look at Joe's face. It's fantastic. That's what you want to see. So
I'm gasming over something over there. What the hell is happening?
Done.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's an interesting game because I wonder if no Mitch McGovern. I mean, he's not the be all end all, but I wonder if he's going out, meaning that they're going to try and play like your King, your Membry, that kind of thing. I saw something interesting today talking about Membry, like potentially getting traded or getting delisted. So yeah, It's going to be maybe they're trying to play him and get some draft capital.
Maybe. But I assume they sort of want some tools to challenge the forward line because Carlton's back line has been doing really well in recent times. The boutique sense are going to get what's coming to them, says Jonas. Fighting words.
Congrats to Marchbank as well. Marchbank kind of playing his second or third game off coming from major injury. So pretty happy there.
Yeah, Lucky Fogarty playing his 50th game. Congratulations, mate. Great little milestone coming your way. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure. What is your tip for this game? I'm still going to go with Carlton because they're in ripping hot form.
Yeah,
I
pick Carlton.
I know Chera's injured. But he was injured. He was subbed out at halftime, and in the second half, Carlton was still better than Collingwood. So
yeah,
I
I think as well. Looking at the Carlton team, who's going to really stop Charlie Curnow when he's going bang bang bang? They don't really have anyone. Like Wilkie maybe, but I don't know. I don't think he can. Couple of dodgy umpire calls, and then Charlie Curnow's now on like 15 goals, and hey presto, we've now got 100 this season. So yeah. AFL might be underhand money, you know what I mean?
What I'm most happy about is Georgie Hewitt is named on the ball. Come on, George. Do good things for me, Georgie. I love you, George. On you, John. Thanks for subbing, man. Really appreciate it. Jonas, Mackay, McGovern, Silvani, Walsh, Kennedy, Williams, Chera, all out, and Carlton will still win. Probably. We get to the last game of the week. Fremantle hosting the Lions at Optus Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty Coleman's injured. McInerney is injured. Ooh. Okay, interesting. Darcy Fort, Devil Rob, Jackson Pryor, Tom Fullerton, and Zach Bailey. He's the most exciting one. I can't believe they put his name last. Meanwhile, for Fremantle, Matthew Johnson, please play, mate. I want to have a bench cover player right now at this point of the season.
Just one?
Just one, bro. Just one.
How many bench covers players do you have, Joe?
Well, last week was very precarious because I think I'll be fine now that Tom Green is back, but it was really precarious last week because Tom Green was out, Matthew Johnson was out, and
you know who you needed,
Drury
Joe?
was also out. So
you know who you needed? Corey Wagner. Wagner. Big Corey Wagner with the 110. Oh.
Yeah. All right,
so good.
Yeah, where is
his
he
name's on the field? Look at him. His name's on the field. Oh man. I'm getting
but be careful. Brendan Cox is back in.
Exactly. And Nathan Wilson.
Where are they? Brendan Cox is there. Brendan Cox is there. Nathan Wilson is here. And Matthew Johnson is also here. First name, though, on interchange. So that's very positive for Matthew Johnson. Fingers crossed.
Looks better.
John, always 11 good footy talk by fans for fans. Get sick of hearing the same drivel from the men. Yes, John, that was the whole point of starting this up. Love it. Awesome feedback. Jonas, the Lionesses need to get a barber in to fix that team big time. The Lionesses, mate. They were made into Lionesses last week against the Suns. That's for sure. They have to come out breathing fire because their spot now in the top 2 is really in the top 4 is really up for grabs because now Melbourne are on equal points here. So very, very close percentage-wise as well. So
I mean, if Brisbane win, if Brisbane win and Port lose, they kick Port out of top 2. So it's not terrible. 125 average is still very good.
Yeah, but as an interstate team, they need to finish here.
Yeah.
Or here.
It's crazy to think that Port Adelaide was like ahead by quite a lot. If Port lose this and Melbourne and Brisbane win, which we think they're going to do, because Melbourne's playing North anyway, so we think they're going to. Port could be 4th on the ladder. That's pretty crazy.
This is wrong. Why does it say Melbourne up next?
I don't know.
Carlton?
What have you done, Joe?
Nothing. It's just literally the AFL ladder.
Yeah, I don't know. It's changed again.
Why? What's going on?
Joe's broken it.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-huh.
But why is it in first now? Round 1. Why is it round 1? What the How the AFL website is shit.
Funny.
The AFL website is dead set. Like all that money, and you can't make yourself a decent website.
I mean, they can't fix the AFLW system either because I can't log into fantasy, so they're not doing much.
I have to literally put the ladder at round 20. I have to send it to round 20 to show the proper ladder. That is stupid.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you're tipping the Lions to win this one, huh?
Yeah. I think Freo's lost the last 3 or 4 games in Brisbane. Yes, they lost Ashcroft, but they're too quick for them, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, they've lost like a decent amount for each. So
yeah, they lost by 30 points here, 50
almost
points
50
here,
points there,
50 points there, 30 points here.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't think I agree.
I agree. I reckon the Lions win that game. And if that happens, so we're saying Doggies win. We're saying we win.
Yeah.
We're saying Adelaide wins.
Yeah.
We're saying Collingwood wins. You're going Port. I'm going Geelong.
Yeah. Well, go Geelong because that makes it look better. Because if Geelong win, then Port get like shuffled down the ladder. So.
But we'll make it really close.
That doesn't matter. They're way behind on percentages compared to like the next 3 people.
We'll make it a draw.
No.
Very well. Giants to win. Melbourne to win.
Yeah.
Carlton to win. Lions to win.
Yeah. So they.
If that happens.
Yeah. Look where Port is.
So if that was to happen, then we'll have a ladder of Brisbane moves up to 2nd, Melbourne move up to 3rd, and Port slip to 4th. GWS climb to 5th, Carlton to 6th, Dogs to 7th, and St Kilda slip to 8th on the ladder. Mm-hmm. That's what we expect to be the case next week, right?
Yep, that's what it's looking like. We'll see what happens, really.
And that has us still a game outside, so we're still a chance. Adelaide, still a chance. Geelong, still a chance. And that makes now Sydney over 1 game out. So the race sort of causes a little bit of a
starts
gap.
To slow down a little bit.
Yeah. So Richmond one was so vital. The fact that they're resting Cochin and Martin for this game is insane to me. It's unbelievable. The Suns will be 2 games out as well. So, yeah, from what was, I think, like 15 teams, it's sort of really dwindles a lot to only the top 11.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get past the mighty Eagles first.
That's it. Do it. Please win. I'll be very happy.
Mate, if we lose, we don't care. We're not even going to make finals anyway. Give us a better draft pick this year.
Joe, the controversy, mate, when West Coast beat you guys, not even, as I said in the car, right? Not even you guys losing, but West Coast winning. Holy moly.
Mate, if we lose, I'll be very depressed. All right? I'll be very depressed. But at least
West Coast win a game, they're ahead of us. Yeah. Mate, everything changes at that point, Joe.
Yeah, I know. Look, but if we lose, look, I don't mind. We get a good draft pick, and we tackle next year with full gusto. We don't want to finish super high on the ladder. We want an easy fixture for next year. Another high draft pick, another preseason into the kids. I don't mind if we miss finals this year. Believe me, I really don't mind it. We weren't competing for this year. We had that mantra right from the start. Even when things were going really well, the messaging has always been consistent. We're not looking for this year. We're looking for the future. We're looking to build. It's always been that way, trying to curb expectations because we were beating some weak teams.
You've had a very good year.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Awesome. So who's your VCNC for this week? I'm doing Zach Merritt into Petrarca for me. Zach Merritt against West Coast.
I don't have Petrarca, so it kind of hurts. But Petrarca's a very good shout.
Against you guys. Yeah.
I think Zach Merritt potentially. Who have I got? I'm just looking at where's Madden. So Madden's there. So Zach Merritt into. I can pick anyone. Give me some suggestions, Joe. Who would you go Zach Merritt into? Maybe like a
Who
Dunkley if
are
you're
your big
feeling a bit
scorers?
cheeky. Could go Dunkley. Could go.
It's all right, West Coast Eagles rule. I'll be very relaxed because I'm going to win the Powerball tonight. So I'll be very relaxed.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to take Zach Merritt and then we'll work it out. Who are you picking, Joe?
Yeah, I'm doing Merritt into Petrarca, remember?
Oh, yeah. No, I got you.
Who are your other premiums again?
Do you want to see my team? Does everyone, guys, post in chat, say, yes, I want to see your team?
That's not
Big
bad,
Joe?
Shawnee. Sicily against Collingwood could be an interesting selection. Yep.
Who's anyone posted? Big J. Come on, guys. You got to post in the chat. Tell me you want to see my team. If you don't, I can just click off. No worries.
If you win Powerball, can you spot me $20? Or if I win Powerball, I'll spot you $200. Don't worry, West Coast Eagles. If I win Powerball, I'll spot you $200. You heard it here tonight, all right? $200.
I've got no
Flop
one
it out,
Joe.
bro. John wants you to flop your team out, bro. Show us your big Johnson team, bro. Just
all right. Here we go. Calm down.
This guy trying to make us big for his team.
Cool. All right. This is my team at the moment. Don't know if everyone can see. Is that better? That's better. Cool. I've got 3 bench guys potentially. Zeeble, I think, will end up being sub again, Wagner, and then Marek. So it's not too bad. Ben Keys is probably the real fake primo at this point.
Bro, Darcy Cameron is your captain this week.
That kind of hurts. What do you mean?
You may say Merritt into Darcy Cameron.
Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, Merritt, vice captain. So yeah, if I go someone real, I'm projected like 25-80 or something. So
put Briggs on field.
So Briggs on field 24, but he's only projected 94. So who's got the highest projected? Maybe if we go like a Stewart. Yeah, 25-81. So it's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad at all.
No. Just a crappy season, right? Yeah, not a great season for me, but that's all right. So, yeah.
Yeah, as Jonas says, Merritt VC, no captain is needed.
Well, that's it, Jonas. That's what we reckon, right? So, yeah. I'll do up a team review on Monday or Sunday night, depending on if Joe and I can have a chat about doing something fun for you all soon.
And this is mine.
Be fun.
And this is mine for the week. My week this week is Merritt into Petrarca. I've got Mills now as an extra premium midfield. So I don't know if I might loophole, see how Mills does on the Saturday because Drury and Hewitt play on Sunday. Drury won't play, so I'll look and see how Mills does. If Mills goes bananas, which I don't think he will, then I'll take Mills' score and put Drury on. Otherwise, I'll take Hewitt's score. So obviously, Seamus Mitchell in the back as my cover and Ford and Marich in the forward line. So, yeah,
nice.
It's okay. The clear difference.
You should put that on Marich just to be safe.
He's not scoring a bad against us, but maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, he's playing first out of the 2.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think the big difference between our teams and the top teams are the fact that in either of these positions they've got the English or a Gorn, and that's probably the big difference that has me sliding down the ranks is the fact that I don't have VC English every week, which is killing me.
And he's been popping out huge numbers, and even just Gorn has been popping out. That 216 or whatever it was fantastic, but outside of that, he's just been doing very well as well. So makes it tough.
Very nice West Coast Eagles rule, and he's also looping Mills and Hewitt too. So there you go. There's a benefit. John has English and still swearing at himself for not VCing him last week. Yeah, you can definitely VC him tomorrow night against Richmond. I still have that B grader Harry Himmelhurt at D6. Better lift now. He's an 800,000. That's true.
Got Ben Keys. I think that's the real difference with my team and a real team is having Ben Keys there. I would have loved for him to be like a good swing player between mid and defense. But yeah, getting rid of Will Day when I did kind of killed that. Getting rid of Steele when I did killed that because it cost me 2 trades to get rid of both. And then, like, I would have had 2 trades left and then Keys and then those guys popping out big numbers. So it wasn't a great time.
It is what it is. I traded out Gorn and I traded out DCAM. So those are my 2 regretful trades for this year. So everyone, I think a lot of people have got something that they regret. It is what it is. So
I think so.
Yeah, I think we might call it an evening. I'm getting hungry.
Easy.
Going to go have some dinner. Thank you guys so much for joining us once again for this Thursday night live reaction to the team sheets. Best of luck to all of you with your teams. May the odds forever be in your favor with the VCNCs. We look forward to seeing you on Sunday night for the Fan Camp at 9.
Catch you, fellas. Bye.
See ya.